Today you get to see a married couple fight. Something only our neighbors have heard. We are going to decide whether video or photography is better.
All right, who's going first to argue? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. It's me! And I don't know if that's a good thing.
No, I get the closing argument.
I think that photos are here to stay. I think people like them better. And Tony, who is chronically incorrect, prefers video. But if you like photo or video, you can find a place to share it with our sponsor, Squarespace. You can get a free trial for our website for 14 days and see if you like it. We host our pictures, I book clients there, I sell things. It's easy to do and it looks professional. Go to squarespace.com/Chelsea and use the coupon code Chelsea to get 10% off. Thanks, Squarespace. Okay, Tony, here's what I'm arguing. Photos are here to stay because they're easier to take, they're easier to share, they're easier to store, and there's also data that supports that people prefer photos in a lot of ways.
Okay.
My first point is that photos are easier to take. You don't need sound, you don't need a steady hand. How many times have you seen a video and it's shaky and the dynamic range isn't good, so the quality isn't that great, or it's just long? It's harder to do, you need storytelling. When your friend sends you a meme, you're on it. When your friend sends you a video, you're kind of like, when am I gonna find a minute in my life to look at this video that I might not like?
Yeah, nobody shares videos.
Quiet down. I want to make the other point, Tony. If you're so pro video, I want you to pull open your photo album right now and tell me how many videos you have versus photos. Okay, so pull open your photo app, and I already have this information. I have 60,000 photos and 4,000 videos.
First, I use live photos, so all of my photos are actually video because Apple, Samsung, and other smartphone manufacturers recognize that people like video, so they build it in. When you take a photo, it takes
Listen, it's
a
not
video.
your turn, just tell me.
I have 57, 70 videos and, 39,000, but that's, so it would be like 32,000 photos.
And 5,000 videos. So even you, the person who prefers video, has far fewer videos.
Yeah, because my photos are videos.
No, they're not.
They're live photos.
You never share that with me. You never say hold down for the live photo. You just like the photo. So when something happens, you pull out video or photo? You definitely pull out photo. You can all check your albums right now. I know you all take more pictures than video. And the part of the reason is that it's easier to store and easier to share. So when you're storing a bunch of videos, what does it do? It takes up a lot of space. Now you have to buy more space. It's more expensive. It's more time consuming, not only to take them, but to consume them. And also, it's more difficult to store them long term because both digital photos and video have something called bit rot. And that's when over time, the quality of the video and the photo will degrade. So I took video of my daughter and I went to review them 20 years later, and it was pixelated and terrible and almost impossible to view.
Say this. Don't pee me, bye.
Dobby, run. And that's because of bit rot. Now, photos do also get bit rot, but we have something really special called printing. So we print all of our favorite photos and they stay in albums for hundreds of years. They're cheap, they're easy to store, and they're easy to share. That's why they're here to stay.
Okay, well, you kind of stepped on my point, which is photography's good. It's easy. It's easy. Like if you don't have the energy to make a video, if you're not willing to learn a skill, then yeah, photography should be for you.
You don't think photography is a skill?
It's a good stepping stone
What's
to video.
What's our channel about?
It's a good place to start. But at some point, you figure out the exposure triangle, storytelling. You're looking for some extra challenge. That's what video is to me. It is something that is infinitely more complex. Even just capturing audio adds so much depth to it.
Don't pee me, bye.
Like you can go take a portrait outside while the neighbor is mowing his lawn, but you can't make a video. You have to think about these types of things.
That's why it's difficult. And
It is difficult, but some of us want a challenge. We are not looking for the easy way out. That is why video is an amazing possibility. It gives you limitless opportunity to learn, to exercise, and to expand your mind.
Not all of us want to burden everyone around us with our challenges, like bad sound. So we take photos and share them because we respect other people's time and ears. Have you thought about that?
Look at my points. To wrap up my point, video is harder, but it's worth it. That's why we've still seen such huge adoption for video, despite the fact that there are so many challenges. The grading is harder. If you take a video of somebody, you can't easily like airbrush out a pimple or change the color of your shirt like you can with photography. Photography is good when you don't have the energy, the time, the skills to put into those things. But some of us are striving for something better. In fact, it seems like almost everybody is willing to take on that extra challenge because video has been eclipsing photography in adoption. All the new social networks are all video-centric.
Actually, TikTok last year introduced stills to their app because Instagram had more downloads than them for the first year in 2023. People still want to look at photos because it is difficult to make a video, and that's why so many of them are bad and boring. People like to look at the photos still, and the sales say it all, Tony. I went digging into the financial reports of some camera companies, and Fujifilm sales are up, especially for their Instax camera, which has no video. It's just film because people want a quick, easy, accessible, and real experience, especially with AI coming in. You can't even tell what digital photos and video are real anymore, so people like this experience where they know what they saw, they're holding onto it in their own hands, and they can keep it. Not only were Fuji sales up by 13%, but Canon overall had an increase in sales of 3.7% in 2023. Sony also had an increase in sales in cameras of 10%, but you know whose sales were down by 8%? GoPro.
I don't know. I mean, Sony and Canon both have cinema camera lines. And by the way, Nikon just bought Red.
What?
Nikon bought Red.
Well, people do desperate things. I can't I can't explain away everything, Tony, but
Can't explain away anything.
what I can tell you is that a lot of these camera companies said that it was their entry-level line of stills cameras that were selling really well. And not only that, Instax is selling better than all of these professional cameras, and that has nothing to do with video. People still want the photo experience, and they always will, for all of the reasons that I've outlined. The money doesn't lie. Read your notes, Tony. You want to find the truth? You can look at mine if you want.
I'm trying to decide which of my 2 points I'm going to save for the final crushing.
Why are your notes so long, but your arguments so weak? Before we get into our final points, where I'm definitely going to win, even though this competition makes zero sense, we want to talk about a place where you can post your favorite photos, and that's Squarespace. That's where we both post our photos. In fact, Tony doesn't even have a video portfolio. He loves video so much. So if you want to host your photos, your business, book your clients, you can go to squarespace.com, get a 14-day free trial where you don't even have to remember to cancel, and then it just will cancel automatically if you don't buy it. But if you do, you can use the coupon code Chelsea to get 10% off. So thanks, Squarespace. Are you okay?
One of the pleasures of being married is going to your spouse's parents' house and looking through their old photo albums, right?
Yeah.
But there's a problem, like, they're all fake. Like, I just looked through your photo albums and everybody's got their arms around each other and they're smiling at the
I
camera.
don't have photo albums. My mom's not like that. We have a shoebox.
But I remember one time they showed me a home video.
Sir, this argument's predicated on a lie. There's no family album. But go on.
And in that video, it wasn't the same thing as all your smiling family pictures.
Oh,
in that video,
you're gonna
there's
bring up Kick
a
the
little
Baby.
baby Chelsea and a big sister that says, "Kick the baby." And then you know what happens next in the video? Big sister kicks the baby. Because that is real. Because video is always more real than stills because it is easy, even without AI or Photoshop, to fake a split second. Look at everybody's class photos. Go through the yearbooks. Every single photo there was fake. Nobody looked like that. Nobody was dressed like that on a daily basis. Nobody smiled like that. People were mischievous or silly. Video captures those things because it captures sound. It captures the quality of your voice. It captures the little micro expressions, the little bit of anxiety or nervousness. Video is more real because it is deeper, because it is more complex. And that is even more true in 2024 in the era of AI. If photos are so great, then why is it I can go to Midjourney and in 12 seconds I can make a mind-blowing photo that is better than anything any of us have ever produced? But you can't do that for video, not now.
No. Yes, you can. You can literally pull up TikTok and do a live fake IA video faster than you could generate a Midjourney fake photo. Also, if my mom had had high frame rate Sony Alpha 1 with 30 frames per second, she could have captured the moment the baby was kicked. And it would have lived, and she would still have it printed on the wall. Who even knows where the kick the baby video is at this point? Okay? And you know what? Honestly, I find it disrespectful that I was born into this world being kicked, and now you try to kick me again here with an argument, sir? Have I not endured enough? I want to take it to my final argument, Tony. Photos and photocentric cameras are what's trending right now. I don't see any of the youths excited about the new video camera. You know what I see them excited about? The new Fuji X100 series. I see them excited about that new camp camera that's just a little tiny simple digital camera. And I see them excited about old film cameras because people are sick of the AI and people are sick of sitting and watching a 5-minute video to get nothing when they could just look at a cool photo and get the same experience.
Yeah, but young people are into like knitting and cigarettes now too. They're going way, way back. They're doing a retro thing temporarily, but by default, they're all shooting video. Now, are you ready for my final point?
I think you already made it.
Let's go back to our childhoods. You're a child of the 90s. I bet you remember hopping in the family station wagon and going down to Blockbuster on a Friday night and renting yourselves a nice, exciting photo album. And you'd bring that photo album back and you guys would make some popcorn and you would stare at a photo for 2 hours. And I remember from my childhood, every Thursday at 8 Eastern, 7 Central, we'd all gather around the TV to stare at the newest Ansel Adams photo. We'd spend 29 minutes being like, oh man, that is a mountain. Wow, this is so great.
You know what? What's your favorite movie?
I have a lot of favorite movies.
Because that movie is just about a million photos stacked on top of each other.
That's what I'm saying. Each movie is a million photos and has so much more depth, and it has sound and storytelling. Photos have been popular because videos were hard, because videos were expensive. Photography is basically the Walmart version of video. Like, okay, when people could not afford proper video cameras, proper microphones, yes, we use stills because it was cheaper, because that's all we could afford. But now, video is accessible. I'll tell you a story from my youth, my 20s. We're talking like early 2000s here. I worked at an ISP, and a couple of guys came in, and they were looking to start up they wanted to stream video on the internet, which was crazy, because at the time, all we had was those little GIFs of the man digging under construction, you know?
Love those.
And oh my God, they asked for a price to stream videos on the internet, and we gave them a price, and they laughed on their way out, and then we laughed at them. They went on and founded YouTube.
I haven't heard of it.
True story.
I haven't heard of it, but I'm sure it's great.
But I was young and naive. At the time, video was so prohibitively expensive to stream that it was literally impossible. But those costs came down. And now here we are streaming from our basement to hundreds of people.
At least
maybe
20
dozens.
people. You know, Tony, that's a pretty good argument, but I still think that photos are easier to store. They're here to stay for the average person. And the average person is not making videos all the time. If you go on social media and you look at your friends, not at content creators, they're mostly sharing photos. Maybe a few videos here and there.
Yeah, but your friends are like 80.
Tony, that's not good for you. You're older than me too. You're lucky I like the olds. All right, we're obviously having a silly argument. We both like photos and video. We just thought it'd be interesting to argue both sides. But we are wondering, what do you think is the future? Video's so prevalent now. Do you think it's going to take over completely? Do you think there will always be a space for photos like I do? We're curious. I find myself drawn more to the simple part of photo, and it could just be because my job is video. So I know you're always going to be taking pictures.
Yeah, I definitely like both, but I really do genuinely appreciate the extra challenge of video. It is more, but I am a person who's always looking for challenge. And I mean, obviously from the fact that more people see our videos than our photos, it is a good way to connect so deeply. Like before I got into video, I wrote 35 books and nobody knew my name or recognized me. But as soon as I started making videos, people were recognizing me all over the place. It's like, that is how deep the connection that video can make is. And I do feel like it's a worthwhile investment. And if you are a stills photographer, build on that knowledge and extend it into video so that you have both in your skill set so that you can do both.
Yeah, I think it's good to have both skills. Anyway, share your thoughts down below. Let us know if you want to see the kick the baby video, if it's even possible to bring that back. And then I also want to know how many photos you have in your photo roll versus your video. Even Tony had so many more photos. Like, shame on you.
My Lightroom has 1 million photos in it now.
I know. Once again, thank you, Squarespace, for making this podcast possible. If you want your very own website that looks professional and is easy to make, go to squarespace.com/Chelsea. And when you decide to buy it, use the coupon code Chelsea to get 10% off. Thanks so much.
Bye.